back. We're back a day late, but it's okay.
I'm sorry, YouTube.
Yeah,
I'm really sorry.
We're gonna blame Justin for that. But it's your weekly favorite two guests. It's the duo.
The duo.
Just the two of us. We
Just
can make it if we
the
try.
two of us.
Oh, hit it. Keep going.
Nobody wants to hear my vocals.
Oh my gosh, dude, you ruined it.
It's bad.
But yeah.
If I keep singing, we definitely won't have listeners.
With that being said, welcome back to Just Critting Around podcast. Well, sports podcast. Let's
The Jordan episode.
Oh no, we went over this last episode. It's the LeBron episode 23. LeBron's more relevant than Jordan at the moment, so it has to be him by default. And that's what we're gonna stick with, especially since Diggs isn't here. Dude, get those out of here, dude.
First of all, come on, dude. The 13 low.
For those listening to
the
audio only, he's throwing up a pair of 13s here, 13 lows, and doesn't nobody want them, dude.
Dude,
he's got big feet. For all you lady listeners. But yeah, enough of that. I'm Chris, the one and only the walking bucket host, and that's Justin up there.
I'm here in Oklahoma.
Lawton. I got it right this time.
Lawton. You'll get to experience Lawton at its finest when you fly into the airport.
I'll gentrify into the culture with the cowboy hat and all, dude.
Yeah,
do people walk around with cowboy hats there?
Oh yeah,
everywhere.
Hell yeah, cowboy hats, cowboy boots.
Has Monica ever bought you a pair of cowboy boots?
No, I don't really I don't like the way cowboy boots feel, to be honest. But a lot of people like them because they're comfortable. And, you can work in them, you can go out in them. But there's a lot of my friends that are not white, and they wear cowboy boots. In Oklahoma, it's kind of fun. I mean, they'll wear them with, gosh, I don't know what. I mean, they won't wear them with cowboy attire. Like, they won't have a button-up shirt. Those have, like, a T-shirt and maybe some jeans.
I mean, that's kind of how it is these days over here in North Carolina. You walk around any campus, you'll see cowboy boots, jeans.
Yeah,
the Confederate flag all day.
Yeah.
So with that being said, let's hop right into the major news. Everybody knows what it is, and I'm sure they're just dying for our opinions, right? But at this point,
I mean, there's not enough opinions out there on this matter.
I mean, we need to bring in the great opinions, and that's Trump and his eventful weekend that was in the wide world of sports. Trump went at the NFL and at the NBA by going at one of its best players. So recently Trump came out and he called that NFL players that protested by kneeling and sitting down during the anthem, that they were SOBs and that they should be fired for kneeling on the spot. And he went in and quoted himself. The only person I know that will quote themselves is Donald Trump. And he quoted himself saying, "You're fired," at a rally in Alabama. So he fought what he did before that, the precursor to all this. The day before, I believe, the Warriors team had White House invitations for winning the championship. And during media day, Stephen Curry said that he won't be attending, and the team followed suit, basically, at least the majority of the players.
Well, KD originally said, "I'm not attending."
Yeah.
F Trump. And then Steph kind of, and
Steph said, "I don't want to go." And Trump, with his Twitter fingers, went to work. Said that since Stephen Curry is hesitating, his White House invitations have been revoked. So we'll start there. Right. What are your thoughts on that? Because we'll get into honestly, we're not even that. Let's go NFL, dude. Just that's the big thing right now.
Okay. Well, first of all, I do want to touch on this.
Yeah, go for it.
So it's like Trump is the biggest little girl in the playground for sure.
Yeah.
And the only thing is, after I thought about this, is somebody needs to be the bigger person. That's definitely, as we can see, that would not be Trump. But wouldn't it be better if, especially there is a problem and everybody sees it, the socioeconomics and the racial injustices. So wouldn't it be better if the Golden State Warriors said, you know what, and maybe they made an announcement on Twitter, we're going to accept our White House invitation to talk to Trump. We want to talk to him in person and be like, look, man, this is what we see you doing, and this is what we think you need to do. Don't you think that would be more responsible? And I know it would be tough to do. That would be really tough.
Yeah, I've heard that one thrown around, go and voice your opinions directly. You have a floor at that point to talk directly to the president. But I just don't see it with Trump. He's hiding behind a keyboard and Twitter. Who knows what he's going to say to these guys' faces when they're towering him. But I could only imagine that it's going to be nothing good, that nothing good will come out of this except for more hatred, probably for each side. Are they, you know what I'm saying? Or he'll just put on a facade for the players. I just really don't think them showing up would have done anything for their cause. I guess it's a little childish in the sense not to go.
Right. You don't know until you do it. You can't do any worse. You're not going to make. You
can't. But at the same time, why is this a thing now when Tom Brady didn't want to go see Trump? But since I guess he supported him, it wasn't a big thing to Trump. So it's just like a double standard kind of set, at least on his part. With me, Trump just seems to flip flop on a lot of things.
We're gonna see him kneeling.
Yeah, something at some point,
dude. The irony in that, because there's already some irony.
All right,
we can get into it. But so you say, I understand your point. I'm just saying, let's all, if they want to, let's just be big people and do big people things, and that's talking in person.
And I just think Trump's not a big person. Then I feel like, I don't know, the facade that he gives off is, to me, is like he's going to seem like the proverbial de-measuring contest, right? That's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to say, I have more power than you. Why should I listen to you? You're an NBA player. We pay your taxes, yada, yada, yada. Or not your tax, but we pay your salaries, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. So, I get where people are coming from. It's just, and they probably wouldn't make any progress. I think it would definitely make them look really good, the Warriors team, if they announced on Twitter, said, hey, we're going for this reason. And if nothing happens, I think they look like superstars walking out of there. It's like, hey, we tried. We sat in front of him. We told him this. And he said he wasn't going to do anything. Because if there's one thing, and I really, I'm trying, because I'm politically neutral, I don't want to step on each side, but if there is one thing, we've seen a lot of these, as soon as Trump did get in office, we saw a lot of meetings he had with CEOs of different, companies, and a lot of them did not support him. A lot of tech companies, we saw Elon Musk, we saw Kanye West, we saw, Tim Cook, all of these different CEOs sit with him and actually try to get stuff done as far as, corporate tax rates, different, because he was, had the potential tariffs on bringing goods into the U.S. and that was on the agenda. So we have seen that. So that's all I'm saying. And I'll leave that, as far as my point.
Yeah. It just seems like now, if anything is opposite of Trump, it's gotten to the point. I don't think this is going to stop. It's just going to get worse and worse progressively until somebody, as long as Trump can tweet, and now he's got 280 characters to tweet.
Like you said, it's a sword contest. And, so in Trump's
that's exactly what it is now.
Who's got the biggest ego? That's the person that's going to just keep talking and keep talking. But now that he has that, it's bad. And this is from the another ironic thing is that Trump has never had an email. Like he's never had, tech is not his deal. So for him to have a Twitter in the first place is kind of ironic that he doesn't know how to, because it is different how to express tones and stuff. That's why you see a lot of exclamation points. You don't see that with most people.
He always just takes the best words. I'm gonna say goodest. Wow. He takes the best words from a situation. Yeah. Which leads into the next part anyway. Misinterpretations, basically, and how this whole situation has started, which is ironic too, because Kaepernick started it. We're gonna shift to the NFL side. Kaepernick started it with the knee, and it has gone full circle to players taking knees more and more. You know what I mean? So, But Kaepernick still doesn't have a job. So it's ironic.
It's ironic because now you have these same owners that would not bring Kaepernick back in the league. A lot of people believe it was for that reason. There's some different opinions on if he, whatever. I think he's probably in the top 30 quarterbacks, that's for sure. But for them the same owners to actually be locked in arms with people that are kneeling, or were there actually? I mean, there was some that kneeled, but I guess they raised during the anthem. I don't know if the Jags owner actually stayed kneeled.
Nah, he stood. Okay. They were standing with locked arms.
Right, locked arms. So
people have taken it to those owners and players are, like Shannon Sharpe said. I mean, they're unified now because of what Trump said, but like before, like you said, like before, it was a completely different tone, different music. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I understand. It was totally different because it was like Colin Kaepernick and a select few against, the owner's wishes. Hey, just get out there and stand up and do what you're supposed to do. But because of Trump's remarks and the way he called labeled the NFL, and actually what he even said today, that the NFL was a box of mess or something, and that they were going to hell or something like that, that all of a sudden you have this coalition of NFL owners and players, and everybody is like anti-Trump now. Even some of the ones that supported his campaign. And so it's honestly, it's kind of cool to see people group together and kind of like be one NFL, because before it was a lot of difference.
Okay, it is, but that's part of my argument is it shifted from them going, you know what I'm saying? Like the whole reason the kneeling was in the first place, right? The whole reason was because of social inequalities, injustices, police brutality. It had nothing to do with the flag, nothing to do with disrespecting the country. Colin Kaepernick asked a Navy SEAL what was the best way to do it. Right. And he said to kneel.
Yeah, he's like, dude, you got to get off the bench.
And that makes perfect sense in my opinion, because if somebody dies or even when somebody gets hurt in a game, what do? Players kneel to show respect. You know what I mean? So now all of a sudden kneeling has been taken out of context into you're disrespecting the flag and the anthem. And mainly it's because of all these people with opinions on Twitter and things like that, which we'll get into. But now it's the media and Trump has shifted it, like I said, to them against the military, against the flag, when that's not what they're doing. And the NFL players, some of them have, and the owners have grouped in together as a thing against the shield. Yeah, I get it. He called you SOBs. But the reason he called you that is because some of you, like Michael Bennett and Colin Kaepernick and Eric Reed and all them, you guys take kneels during the anthem. So my question is, why now are you guys taking knees? And even then, like people who are taking knees are saying they were doing it for the brotherhood. They were doing it for prayer, like Ray Lewis, who was like, I was down on the ground praying. Yeah. And Julius Peppers, he's on my own team. But if you watch the post-game interview, he had no idea why he was like, I'm a man. I can make my own decisions. I didn't come out for the anthem. That is disrespect. Okay. Don't come out for the anthem. Okay. That falls borderline to the disrespect side. But when you're there and you're still acknowledging it, what's the difference between that and not standing up for the Pledge of Allegiance now in schools?
Yeah. No, right. It's been twisted. And like you said, like, Trump is more of a rah-rah guy, and he's just twisted this to where he could talk to people, talk to, Southern states.
No, go ahead now. We can say it. We know who he's talking to.
Right. Alabama, those Southern states, that
North Carolina.
That frankly, some of these, I would say NFL is more secondary to like a NASCAR or something of that effect. And that's no offense. I know that's probably really sounded bad, but he's taken that and basically got them hyped up, this is what they're doing. Oh yeah. And that's what he is. So that was, I can't really say anymore, but that's just the way he's kind of twisted and maneuvered it into,
well, exactly. Cause now you see, he's like, ratings before the games have gone up 19% because of me, because now people want to know, are they going to disrespect it or not? and he's down in Alabama saying more things, in Indianapolis saying more things about it, and obviously every day tweeting. He's tweeted more about the NFL than he has about Puerto Rico. As the president of the United States, he's more worried about the NFL failing as a business, getting involved in Twitter and public opinion, than he is about fixing the actual problems. I mean, if you hear him today talk about his tax, like, I'm not trying to go political, but he literally didn't say a word. He was just like, it will be, just wait for the next few months, is all he said.
Yeah. So he's a good hype man. It's like the
and
LeVar
the people
Ball.
who he's talking to, we see him on Twitter throwing their jerseys in the trash. Oh, me and my family will never pay money again to the NFL. Blah,
there was
blah,
like
blah,
a there was like a Kerry Collins.
They all have one.
Jersey.
They have one key demographic, and they're all old white people who you can tell. Like, I just don't understand how people can be so. I said this before on one of our episodes. How are people so offended by somebody's right of freedom of speech to right to protest, to kneel? Like, why is somebody kneeling affecting your life that much? Like, people are literally like losing sleep over this.
Right.
And maybe it's just a topic of hot discussion in public forums now, and with social media, everybody can talk at once.
I just can't wait until the day when people move past this, because I don't even go on Facebook because I don't want to read about it. I don't.
Oh my god!
To be honest, we're talking about it because
it's on every sports show.
But I don't care. You know, I don't care what somebody did for the national anthem. That's between them and them. They have the right to do whatever. So I don't really, it's not my place or anybody else's.
I think if an owner really wants to make waves, it's not by kneeling down with your players like Jerry Jones in a forced display, because they seem so corny to me. All those displays with the owners.
Oh yeah, they were pretty.
The
corny.
one in Monday Night Football, they literally like set up like they practiced.
Did you see them looking to the side? It's like they had cues on when to go down and when to go up.
And they all went down, and exactly. So I don't know.
Here's my deal. We can kind of maybe move on from this, but now all of a sudden you do. First of all, there was no roadmap to. Colin Kaepernick was trying to bring awareness to it, right?
Yeah.
But there's no roadmap to fix it. Would you say? I mean,
no.
There's nothing set in stone on here's how you fix it, because nobody knows. Everybody has different opinions on how you would fix the social inequalities and police brutality, which with police brutality, I think it's just that portion is a lot more publicized today in media, because if you look at a lot of the statistics, it might not be as bad as it used to be. Yeah. But I won't go there because we do have a lot of, obviously, video, and we didn't have it back then. But you've got millionaires and billionaires together now. Don't wait on the government to do something, because they don't know what are they going to do. They already, they do have, some they have welfare programs. They have Medicaid for those that can't afford health care in some of these areas. So let's go, now that we're all together, let's go do it ourselves. Let's go to the worst, areas of large cities, and let's put in playgrounds or
join Kaepernick. Kaepernick has been doing all these things,
Exactly. So that's what, now let's see, because
I think an owner needs to pick up Cap as a FU. And then my thing is, if I'm a player on the team, maybe this is just how I was raised. If somebody wants to kneel, man, that's them. Like, whatever. Like, I'm not going to stop you from doing it. Like, it does, like, whatever.
As long as you're not bringing harm.
Exactly. Like, you're not making a fool of yourself, in my opinion. Like, whatever. But now we're going to see it trickle down more and more. We're going to see high school players doing it, which I think it should stay strictly pro. I mean, like, you can do it. I mean, go for it. Because I saw an article about a player that was doing it. And literally me and this other guy were like, come on, bro.
No,
I just think the flag is there, and one of the key components of the flag is freedom of speech, freedom to protest, whatever, voice your opinion, basically. And that's what they're doing without really voicing their opinion. They're just kneeling. It's just show a demonstration. And Jairus brought that tweet up to us, and them protesting this is like saying, like, their original protest and saying that they're protesting the flag is like saying Rosa Parks was protesting public transportation.
Yeah.
It's
or like when you're walking down the street, I think Nick Wright said you're not protesting traffic.
Exactly, right.
If you're using the street as your media.
Right. At the end of the day, I think it's going to come down to our president being more presidential, letting this private entity do it, let them figure it out.
Just don't talk. Please don't speak on it anymore, please.
Exactly.
Save us. Let's talk about sports.
And that's what we're going to talk about right now. All right, we're shifting. We're out of there. We're going to throw that behind us. Hopefully nothing happens in this next 5 days till we do our next one.
Please no.
Right.
Please don't. Are there some like hackers out there that could please shut Trump's social media down? I mean,
something.
Twitter. Yeah, there's got to be Twitter. Let's shut that down so we don't have to talk about that anymore.
Right. So let's just get into the big news. We'll cover the NFL first. We'll start with a brief little recap. If you're unaware, Darren Sproles broke his arm and tore his ACL on the same play. If we had jeers like Sports Nation, that would definitely be one. I mean, it sucks to make fun of injury, but that's bad.
That is bad.
Continue the injury trend. Levante David of the Bucks got carted off with an ankle injury.
I think he's going to miss a month.
Misses a month
or more. He did get an MRI.
That's
so that
good
might
because
be
that defense looked terrible against Case Keenum. So
Keenum.
Yeah, my man was throwing dots. That's one blowout to another. Ravens and Jags 44-7 and Case Keenum.
Are the Jags for real?
Dude, their defense will eat any weak offense, it looks like.
Yeah, they looked I
mean, they had 2 shutdown corners. Fournette looks good. Yeah, he looks like an NFL back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they had Bortles looking like he'd, you know what I'm saying, went to Manning school for a year.
Right. Well, it's like what we talked about when we were given our preseason picks. And I had the Jags.
Yeah.
And I said they're getting back to that play action offense that Bortles thrived in 2015. And you got a running back like Fournette and a good defense. They could do some damage.
Right. I mean, dude, Bortles is looking good. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it sucks they played at 9 in London. So
right. I didn't get to
nobody
see.
really
I just
saw it.
Saw some highlights. Do you like that?
No, I don't like it. I don't like. Here's what I really don't like. They have a game on Monday, game on Sundays. One's going to be in London every now and then the Thursday night game. They've spread their docket so thin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because now sometimes, I mean, this past NFL week was a doozy. It was good. All in all, it was very good. Yeah. I mean, but now we're going to see, I don't know, we see less and less games, like the 1 o'clock games. And then there's only like 2 4:30 games now, like 2 4:45 ones. You know what I mean? Yeah. So plus CBS.
Yeah. CBS
sucks.
My DirecTV dropped them. So I didn't have a 3 o'clock game.
Oh,
I was supposed to watch the Packers and the Bengals. No, couldn't do it.
You didn't have Fox or anything?
Fox didn't have a game. Like usually you have 2 or on cable because I don't have the Sunday ticket anymore. I have the NFL Game Pass, but you have like 2 games either at the 12 or 1 o'clock in your time zone, and then you have 1 game at the 3 or the 1 o'clock. So 3 games.
Well, yeah, I guess so. I mean, we missed a lot. Hopefully, you saw something.
Yeah, I mean, I was able to tune in to the end of Green Bay's game, and Aaron Rodgers was phenomenal.
As always,
right? I mean, the pass he threw on the sideline. I forget who received it. Was it? Oh gosh, I can't even remember. But it was a dot. And then Tom Brady.
Yeah, looking good at what's he on pace for? Like 42 touchdowns, no picks, something like that.
Yeah, that pass that he completed to Cooks, that's a tough throw.
It's all that avocado ice cream, man.
Yeah, well, and then I just started listening to Tom Brady's audiobook. If you haven't, it's a good, so far I've only about an hour in. It's a good listen, good read if you pick up the standard book. But he talks about basically changing the way his muscles are. And so he doesn't do any normal weight training, but it's a lot of bands and resistance and actually like stretching out the muscles and making them pliable. And he said he feels, faster and in better shape at 40 than he was when he was in college. And that's
that's just a testament to new age. You know what I'm saying? We're understanding the body more and more.
Right. So you know, I'm taking a lot of what he does, and he doesn't have like this ripped, super ripped up body, but
he's just
40
in shape.
years, yeah, he's in shape.
Yeah.
He's 40 years old, and a
I
lot
mean,
of
it helps
stuff,
he plays football.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that he does looks like it's gonna, help your longevity, at least for your muscles and that sort of thing. So it's pretty good read. But yeah, he was amazing.
Another quarterback, one of the biggest winners, even though they lost, Matthew Stafford. I think that rule. That is the dumbest rule. Yeah.
I've hated a few of those. Yeah.
Like literally all you got to just to put it into perspective, because the refs got something wrong, the team is punished.
Right. So they thought he got in and they called it a TD, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But he was down, and so they review it. He was down, and there would have been 8 seconds on the clock.
And they literally threw the ball 1 yard or a half a yard. So they would have had plenty of time. So nobody was blocking. Nobody was on the ground because that was like a quick throw.
Yeah.
So they could have easily shifted, as long as the ref got the ball spotted, which he would have pretty quickly. They could have
spiked it or.
No, it was fourth down. So they would have done a QB sneak. They would have tried to just sneak Stafford in. Or he would have tried to reach over.
Yeah, that one. I think it was against Dallas. He reached over.
And won the game. That. So exactly. It's just, I don't know. It really hurt because the Falcons should have lost that game. They deserved to lose it. Stafford drove them down that field, went through penalties and all that, made it down there to the one, and then they get punished. And the Lions, ultimately, Lions are the biggest winners in the loss. It shows me that they're for real. They can hang with anybody that they want to, at least so far through 3 games. And that Stafford's elite. Our rankings might be right.
Bro,
we got some hate for him.
Oh, they were like Stafford at number 3.
Right.
No, I was, when you look at what he's done last season, or what he did last season, and what he's done so far this season, he's looking really good. It's definitely Brady, Rodgers, him, and if you just look at last week, Case Keenum.
Yeah, wow. Case Keenum. How about that, though? 2 receivers. He has 2 of the top 5 receivers.
Yeah.
Thielen and Diggs back-to-back. It's like 2 and 3.
Yeah. No.
As of right now.
Case Keenum, we saw that when he was at Houston.
He always had flashes.
And I'm a true believer in there's a lot of good quarterbacks, and they need to be in a system that, highlights what they do well.
Yeah.
In Case Keenum, what he was able to do in some of the, route combinations, protections, that's perfect for him. That's what, spread the field a little bit. That's what
that's what he did in Houston, actually college Houston, yeah.
And so I think that's a good place for him. We really only saw him. The Rams had an atrocious O-line last year.
Oh, and nothing. All they had was Todd Gurley.
Right. And so he didn't get a fair shot. I knew he was set up for failure with the Rams.
Any quarterback there was set up for failure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we go back to his University of Houston days. People forget. It's college, but he was a gunslinger.
He was,
5,000 yards, no problem, easily.
Right. And so when he was at Houston, I believe, was it
Kevin Sumlin?
Well, Sumlin was there. I think Kingsbury was. No, who was his OC? I'm gonna have to find this out, but I thought Kingsbury was down there as his OC, and he.
Well,
anyways, I was just saying he.
Oh, you can look it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look up where Kingsbury, if he was there.
Speaking of systems and quarterbacks, this one's the biggest loser of the weekend. My man's Cam Newton against the Saints. You got him on your fantasy team, so you hate it for a whole different reason.
But I won.
Yeah, you did win.
I don't know how I did.
You wouldn't have won if Kelvin Benjamin didn't die.
Yeah, but
he got hurt and he had already had 2 catches.
Yeah, I would. I needed a couple breaks because I had Cam Newton as quarterback.
And I had Gurley, and we still lost. But it's all right. We're past it. We're moving on. Fake news.
Cam Newton. What's up with what's the record for the Panthers right now?
We're 2-1. We beat the Bills, and the Bills just beat Denver.
And I haven't got to see the Bills play that much. I've seen a few highlights.
Yeah, they got a good defense. Sean McDermott from the Panthers is up there. He's been our DC the past 3-4 years. And right now, even after that loss, 20 or whatever it was a bad one, to 14 or 13. Right now, the Panthers are still the first-ranked defense in the league, and we're going up against Tom Brady this week. and they're the last ranked defense. So we'll see if Cam can do well. But with the whole back to the subject of schemes and quarterback fits, it doesn't fit with Cam what we're doing right now because the Panthers, I mean, they're just trying to go to a Tom Brady type of offense, and Cam is not that kind of quarterback. If you watch, he overthrows everything as it is. We had to get back to that power run game. Jonathan Stewart touched the ball one time in the second half.
Yeah.
So we had to get back to that power downhill run game.
I mean, he needs like a Bortles.
Yeah, he needs to play actions. I mean, he can throw the ball deep and he can make those long down the field reads, but before snap, Cam struggles with it. Give me a second. All right. Did you find Clinsbury? I got to go let my dog out. Okay, out of this room. Out of this room.
Oh, geez. Look at this. This is so professional. So, yeah, Kingsbury was the OC when Case Keenum was at Houston. So, I mean, then he went on to Texas A&M and obviously was able to coach Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel is having the better, or I would say Case Keenum is having, the better pro career, obviously. Johnny Manziel. Did he finally get picked up by the Canadian Football League?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Contrary to those articles.
Yeah. So
but
that's what I was saying. Kingsbury. So you got Kingsbury as a quarterback coach in OC. He's coached Keenum, and then he went to A&M and coached Manziel. So,
and now he's at Texas Tech, right?
Yeah, and now he's at Texas Tech, and he also coached.
He had Mahomes.
So I mean, there's some good.
He's got a good little lineage.
Yeah,
a little lineage.
Maybe we'll look up in 10 years, and you'll be like, man, Cliff Kingsbury was just the QB coach.
Maybe we might. I don't know. We'll see though. Cool. Do you have any big winners or losers in your mind? Anything else you want to touch on other than, I mean, losers, Raiders? They looked awful, looked terrible.
Yeah, I couldn't tell because we've got a lot of Redskins fans. I couldn't tell if Washington actually looked that good or the Raiders actually looked that bad. Chris Thompson is an animal. Okay, that guy. That's the thing. Those running backs don't last, and that's what I hate to see. He looks like a Reggie Bush or a little smaller than Reggie Bush, but more of a scat back. And besides Sproles. And he just got blown up, as we talked about. But Sproles Sproles could endure some of those hits because he was so small. It was tough to get a good lick on him. I hope Chris Thompson stays healthy.
That's the title, dude. Sproles gets blown up.
Sproles gets blown up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you break two bones in your body on the same play.
Yeah. In completely different areas.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you got to call it.
Right.
So, yeah, that I would say that my biggest surprise of the weekend was definitely Keenum.
Yeah, no, that's definitely – I mean, and he's going to have the potential to play a long time. I mean, nobody really knows what's up with Sam Bradford. I mean, they still haven't commented if he's going to start. They just say he could. There's a possibility. But they're just keeping things very close-knit and close to the chest. So,
right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if
and Teddy Bridgewater will be ready halfway through the years, right? Isn't that – I'm pretty sure it's been a year and a half, 2 years now.
I don't know if do they still have him on IR?
I think he's IR eligible to return. I think he was on the PUP at one point.
Okay. Yeah, then they'll have 3, but I'm not putting any stock in Bridgewater.
Which sucks, man. Bridgewater was getting good too, in my opinion. Yeah. He was looking good.
Teddy Two Gloves.
Hey, that's my man's Teddy Two Gloves. Almost. Whew.
Bro, he was killing it. But Bradford, that's odd because he didn't look like his knee was bothering him.
He said it was in a non-contact injury, and he said it didn't bother him during the thing. Like, it didn't. He had no concern about it. He's like, whatever. And then next day he woke up and it was like swollen, probably.
Yeah.
So
hopefully
that's got to be in structural damage, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, he's had 2 surgeries on that. You can start getting arthritis. So yeah, he probably need those. Was it the platelet-rich plasma injections?
Over in Germany.
Yeah, actually, they're doing that all over here now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
let's get someone over in OKC.
I think
it's like a drug.
Westbrook actually got it in his knee before the start of practice. It's almost like, hey, let's pump your knees full of cartilage, and it wasn't really bothering him, but just to endure the long season, they'll go ahead and get him ready.
So
speaking of that,
I was gonna say, that was a good segue. We're on the same wavelength.
Melo. Okay, I've been critical of Melo on this show and in real life because I think he is a scorer. I don't think he's a winner. I'm thinking, I'm optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic because if he can play the 4, and like I've, rant and raved for a long time, if he could post up and give us a post presence along with Adams down there, and he doesn't have to, body people up, just shoot that nice little.
Oh, I mean, he's
J.
finessing the post.
Right,
he knows how to get a shot off. Yeah.
It's going to be tough to gel. I'm excited though, because I like being in the mix. I know we're not better than the Warriors on paper, but it's a long season. A lot can change, and I'm ecstatic to have Melo. That firepower.
You're definitely in the mix. My only concern for the Thunder now would be depth.
Yeah, and we didn't get Trey Burke.
Yeah,
that hurt. I thought we were going to pick him up.
But I'm with you though. I kind of see this thing working, right? Because Paul George can hit the 3, and Melo can hit the 3 if he's going to be open. So as long as you can put him in the corner, and that just stretches your floor more than it was before when you have Roberson.
Right, and Roberson's still going.
Yeah, he's still there.
Guys,
he's probably got a better
shot
now.
I guess Roberson's going to start, but that's just that having Roberson on the floor in those tough games.
It's been a hindrance.
Yeah, because they just foul him and put him to at the free throw line. So
maybe we'll see some sort of lineup with Russ Abrines or whatever, this 3-point shooting guru. Is that the Spanish one? You still got him?
Yeah, his knee's a little. He's been sent out of practice.
We'll see.
But he's good. He can play. Yeah. He can shoot.
I just think these 3. You played on the Olympic team together. You're too good not to figure it out.
Yeah.
you have 3 different positions at the end of the day. It's not like the same thing as Boogie and Anthony Davis, where you guys don't really control the ball and you have to rely on passes in the post, things like that.
Right.
So I'm optimistic. I got to I had to sneeze.
Look when Melo has played with superstars, and most of that's just been in the Olympic games. But he gels well. Melo has chosen not to group up with superstars until now, solely for the fact that he wanted the money.
And the money. Yeah.
Yeah. He wanted those max contracts, which, it's a business.
You
I
can't
don't really blame him.
yeah.
But now, if he humbles himself and says, I want to win a championship, I just want to do do it the right way, then, I'm excited.
I think it's good. I'm loving the super team trends, dude, right now. As a fan, even if I was just a casual fan, I'm loving it because there's so many storylines, especially with what just happened today. And I got the hat on. They're not my favorite team, but if you listen to the show, me and that guy, LB, with the J, we got a friendship going, all right? He might not know it yet, but we're friends. Yeah. And that might be my best friend. and he just scored his literal best friend, Dwayne Wade. He obviously got bought out by the Bulls, and he signed his $2.3 million deal with the Cavs and actually showed up to afternoon practice. So he's there. The Cavs lineup is set. And they got a first-round pick from Brooklyn to add another piece that they want before the playoffs start. So let me just give you this roster rundown real quick to show you how deep this team is and how dangerous this team will be.
Give it to me.
Isaiah Thomas, once he's healthy, he's back, right? So you got Isaiah Thomas running the 1.
What's that, the All-Star break?
January.
Okay, so for the All-Star break.
Yeah. So you got Isaiah Thomas, D Rose, and Jose Calderon all at the point. That's deep. All of them can run a team. You know what I'm saying? So you're good. Whatever. And you can intertwine that however you want. Shooting guards, now you got Dwayne Wade as your starter. J.R. Smith, Iman Shumpert backing him up. Small forward, obviously, best player in the land, best player on earth, best player ever. LeBron James. You got, who else is there? Oh, Kyle Korver and Jay Crowder. And at the 4, you have Channing Frye, but obviously Kevin Love starts, Channing Frye, and Jeff Green with Tristan Thompson and some random big 5-foot guy playing your 5. And the new Zizic guy, if he's going to be any good. But that team right there, now freshly assembled, without a doubt is the number 2 team in the league and has the potential to knock off the Warriors solely based on depth right now. If Isaiah Thomas is back healthy, and obviously that's a big if, but if he comes back and plays anywhere near what he played last year, which he probably will because LeBron makes the game easier for you. They're going to finish. I mean, they're obviously going back to the finals.
I don't have the Cavs coming out of the East.
Yeah, we know this hot take. Explain to the people. Give us logical reasons.
The logical reason why the Cavaliers will not be, the number one team coming out of the East or making it to the championship to face the Warriors is because it's not because this is not the best team. This is this team right here would be the best team ever in 2012.
Okay.
There's too much age. There's too much age.
Wow, they're not going to be than they were last year.
But you've got LeBron is going to turn 33, right?
He looks. Has he slowed down any? It's like a Tom Brady thing with him right now. Come on.
Yeah, there's a little more expected from him as far as the physicality.
He's just going to be back in the MVP race now.
Okay. Hopefully you're right. I mean, I still think he's going to be solid. Don't get me wrong. I think he's obviously we even saw him last year during the regular season, I'm older now. I need some help. Yeah. So he's going to be D-Wade is going to be older. He can still score. I just don't know that they're going to have, I think they'll have a good regular season. I think they'll be really good. I don't think they'll have it in the playoffs because I just think that regular season is going to have a toll on them if they don't rest guys the way they need to.
What makes you think they won't? They got like 3 starting lineups.
Right. Which if they handle it right, they will. But if they start getting into a race.
You think GM LeBron, Coach LeBron ain't going to handle it right? He knows when to rest and when not to rest. Nothing he has done in his career tells me otherwise. Right. Like, he's never been hurt.
Yeah.
I'm going to knock on wood. Never been hurt. Significant. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I don't know.
I don't know. Well, it'd be really interesting to see because I know we're kind of hard on Kyrie.
Yeah.
But I want to see, how much of a role Kyrie had on their success. That's what I want to see because I
think it's one less person that needs an ISO ball. Him and LeBron.
That is true because I don't think he was too much of a point guard, but IT is kind of a smaller version of Kyrie once he comes back healthy.
But that just gives you a little mini Kyrie for those situations.
Yeah. I mean,
and then he's not going to have triple and double teams on him.
So put it this way. Do you feel better about your chances of knocking off the Warriors this year as opposed to last year and the year before?
Yes, absolutely. I think this team is better. I have been maybe in the minority thinking this team is better than the one last year by a wide margin, solely based on the depth that they have added. Jay Crowder is a lockdown defender who can score and hit the three. He's a D and 3 and D, whatever you want to say.
3D.
Yeah, so I don't know, dude. Just on paper, as long as Isaiah Thomas comes back and is Isaiah Thomas, this team is without a doubt better than the Boston Celtics and better than the one last year, the number 2 team right now to the Warriors.
Okay.
And they can go small ball now with ease.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting. Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, I hope they do
Just think of like a potential lineup. You could put LeBron at the 5 to play against Draymond when they go small. And then you would have, D. Rose, Isaiah Thomas out at the floor at the same time. I guess you go Crowder if you want, right?
You need to slow the game down at times when you
to beat them, yes,
to beat the Warriors, and that's what any team I want to see in the regular season. I want to see them work on that. So OKC, I want to see them get set in a half-court offense and go to Melo in the post, go to PG.
Take more of a Grizzly style of play.
Right, and I want to see more of that. Not all the time, but being able to do that because I think that will cater to being able to dethrone the Warriors. And I think as a lot of basketball fans, as long as you're not a Warriors fan, a lot of us want it. They're up here, and a lot of people want to see them dethroned.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll leave it at that, and we'll just go into some random thoughts that me and you might have about anything sports related. If you got anything floating around in Justin's head.
So I'm thinking about the Spurs.
I was going to say real quick, the uniforms, just the NBA uniforms in general. You a fan?
They look different. As soon as you see it, it's right. It's right there. It's that little patch.
But just in general, the Nike ones too, though. Just everything is the colors are all different for teams. Like I love it.
Yeah, I like some of the different I like OKC has one. I'm sure others where it's kind of like broken letters, little digitized. That's cool. And then the new patches. So that's going to be on the regular season jersey, right?
That's on every jersey. Playoffs too.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I honestly don't. I mean, that brings in revenue. I mean, the point.
I think it goes straight to the owners. Too.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I had a friend that played basketball overseas. His check didn't come from the team he played for. He played in the Finnish league. Yeah, he got paid from the sponsors on his jersey, and there were actually some of them were different than the other players on the team.
Yeah.
So I don't mind it. It's definitely going to be an adjustment because we haven't seen that. You've seen it in soccer and other places, but
it's small enough not to be a big deal. And I think it's a good touch to the jersey because they keep it in the same team color for the most part.
Right. But what's going to happen is, you have this one and they're paying, say,
it's already happened.
$200 million, right?
Oh, it's already happened. Are you saying wage differences, like pay is going to be different?
No. I'm saying now all of a sudden, wait, we've got Apple or whatever company, and they want to put one on the back left shoulder, and they're going to pay us $500 million. Let's just add another one.
Yeah, but the NBA made it a rule you can only have like a 3x5 inch one right here.
Yeah.
So it's like one particular spot, and if somebody at that point they're just going to outbid unless you're in a contract with them. And there's only 12 teams with it right now.
I think we'll see the evolution of there probably be. In the end, there's probably going to be like 2 or 3.
It's going to turn to soccer, yeah.
Right. They're going to have they'll make it look classy as they can, but they're going to be on there on the jerseys for sure. But I don't really.
I dig them. I mean, my Hornets, we got the Jordan logo, only team right there. So
y'all are brand Jordan?
Yeah, we're Jordan brand. Everybody else is Nike.
Nice. I did not know the Hornets ended up getting.
They unveiled our throwbacks with the pinstripes too. It's nice.
Yeah,
the Nike style. But go ahead. What were you going to say about the Spurs, the old man team, fundamentals?
Right.
Team fundamentals?
I want to. Where do they fall in this? Are they gonna? Do they have the?
They didn't get any better. They didn't get any better.
Exactly. And I don't.
And all they have is Kawhi. Kawhi and an aging pal.
Right. But this if the Spurs somehow put it together and they don't make any moves and they come out of the West, so they come up somehow dethrone the Warriors, that will just go to the legacy of
Pop. Yeah,
Pop.
You know how many goat pictures we'll see of Pop, his head on a goat or something?
Right, because
it'll be crazy.
So we'll see, because I think he's just a great X's and O's guy. He actually spoke up a lot when they were interviewing him now because he had some choice words for Trump.
Yeah,
but
they're pretty savage with it.
Yeah. I mean, he won off, and the thing is we don't get to hear a lot of Pop, but I've read some things from players that he's had before, and they talk about like his practices and film studies, and they show he shows like movies and videos, and it's almost like Mike Leach was with Texas Tech when he talked about the pirate, and kind of going off in left field, but the way he relates it to what they're doing in the NBA, he makes it work. I just think, as far as coaching in basketball, Pop is already the GOAT. And if he somehow is able to
I don't think
take
he does
down the Warriors.
There's too many teams now, especially in the West.
Real quick,
top
the
loaded.
Rockets.
I mean, it hurts that they didn't get D-Wade or Melo.
So,
but I mean, I think they have. Yeah, I mean, they still got a good team. Don't get me wrong. I think they're third best in the West. I mean, CP and James Harden right there is enough. And then you have so many shooters on that team just to feed off both of them. And they both can shoot themselves. So, I mean, it's going to work for the Rockets. I mean, they'll be fine. And they're playing with the best offensive coach, one of the top ever. So, he doesn't care about defense, but offense is his forte. Other than that, I do want to give a shout out to Georgia. You do college football. You can talk about Oklahoma, too, if you want. But you guys struggled.
We didn't.
Georgia, look, you struggled. All right, let's just be honest. It's okay.
It was a shootout. We won. Our defense. I mean, Baylor did some things. They've got a wide receiver that might be running track in the Olympics. Go ahead. Talk about Georgia.
Georgia's straight, dude. Georgia, we're good. Nick Chubb's back. The boys are back in town. We're going to the SEC championship. We just beat Mississippi State. I got to stop saying we. I'm nowhere. I'm not even affiliated.
Did Chubb, like, he didn't even start the first few games? Was he still hurt? Or?
Nah, it's just, dude, our backfield, it's the best backfield in college football.
Yeah, because that's what I heard. They were like, Chubb's not even gonna play. I was like,
we have Nick. He gets a whole bunch of carries. Him, Nick Chubb, or it's Nick Chubb, Shoney Michel, Swift out of Philadelphia, freshman, and then forget who the last one is. But Georgia's just running back university. It's wide receiver university and running back university. So we'll see what happens. I think they're the best chance of knocking off Alabama this year. Probably won't happen. Real quick, last question for you before we get out of here. Clemson, Alabama, are we going to see the trilogy this year?
No. No, I don't think so.
All right, way too early prediction till you got. Final 2, not even Final 4, just playing in the national championship. You can be a homer if you want. I don't even care. If you think so, that's what you think.
Let's go Bama and OU.
You're going to go Bama, OU?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm going to say Bama and OU. Clemson's defense looks good. I think this OU team, the way we're stacked in the backfield, and it's kind of ironic because we had P. Ryan and Mixon go, but we've got a backfield that's loaded, and our O-line and D-line in the trenches, we saw what we were able to do to Ohio State. We're going to have some close games against TCU, OSU, West Virginia.
TCU does look good. That's the dark horse, I feel like.
Right. TCU looks good. So that's going to be a tough game.
College football's ratcheting up. We'll be talking about it more on the show.
Right.
That's for sure. That's what we can promise you guys. But that's going to do it for us here in the LeBron episode 23. We got 24 coming up next. Are we going to go Jeff Gordon?
Jeff Gordon. Oh,
Jeff Gordon. Yeah, we're going to go Jeff Gordon for all of our NASCAR fans.
I can count on one hand.
Yeah, nobody. So that's going to do it for you. We'll see you guys next week. Make sure you tune in. We'll be back on Tuesday, 8:30-ish. We'll see you there. The guy with no face and Matt will be there too.
Right. And we can talk about Carolina losing to New England. So anyways, see y'all next week.
All right.